Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a stack of your sources and extract the most important nuggets of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're embarking on a truly fascinating deep dive into what really makes a life meaningful.
Yeah.
Ever wonder what truly makes a life meaningful? Beyond the titles, the possessions, all that external stuff.
Right. The things we usually chase.
Exactly. We're going to try and blueprint what a truly rich life looks like from the inside out.
And what's captivating is how these insights, pulled from all sorts of places, leadership psychology, investment philosophy, even faith traditions and relationships.
That's a real mix.
It is.
Yeah.
And they all point to a similar, maybe surprising truth. That lasting fulfillment comes not from what we accumulate, but from who we become.
And how we impact others.
Precisely. Who we become and how we serve.
So our mission for you today is to unpack these surprising facts, help you shortcut your way to being well-informed about building that truly rich life.
Get right to the heart of it.
Yeah. So what does this all mean for you? Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's unpack this core idea first. It really challenges how we usually think about achievement, right? We often measure success with things you can see or count. Obvious stuff.
Yeah, the external metrics, promotions, bank balance.
Right. But what if the real scorecard, the one that actually matters deep down, is entirely different?
Indeed. And Tony Dungy, the Super Bowl winning coach, he introduces a concept he actually calls God's scorecard.
Okay.
Now, while the phrase comes from his faith, the core principle behind it, valuing internal stuff over external validation, that resonates pretty broadly, I think.
How so?
Well, he references a biblical verse, Jeremiah 1.8, emphasizing a sort of preordained purpose.
Yeah.
And Joe Gibbs, another famous coach, echoes this. He talks about performing for an audience of one.
An audience of one.
Interesting.
Yeah, meaning there's a standard that's rock solid, as he puts it, not swayed by what other people think or their agendas.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, maybe a bit challenging for some. Dungy explicitly contrasts worldly measurements with this divine perspective. He does. He's very direct.
He says, and I'm quoting here, the size of your house, your bank account, the number of cars you own, or how big your flat-screen TV is, don't appear on that scorecard.
Right. None of the usual status symbols.
Instead, what is marked is like the way you make your spouse feel each day, or the time you spend with your children and whether you affirm or intimidate them.
Wow. That hits differently.
It really does. And what you invest in the relationships with the people he brings into your life. That's a huge shift, isn't it? From visible assets to invisible impact.
It's a massive shift. And what's truly fascinating is that this isn't just, a religious idea. It's a profound psychological truth, too.
How do you mean?
Well, when we constantly chase external validation, likes, promotions, approval, our sense of worth becomes incredibly fragile, doesn't it?
Totally. It's like it's held hostage by things outside our control.
Exactly. Hostage to fleeting opinions, changing circumstances. But by focusing on character, on relationship quality, those are assets you build.
Things you invest in.
Right. Assets that compound over time, providing this deep, stable sense of value that external stuff just can't really touch or diminish.
It's an internal metric you have control over.
Precisely.
And this idea, investing in something that can't be taken away, that connects directly to investment philosophy too. Warren Buffett, arguably one of the smartest investors ever.
Absolutely.
He reinforces this, but from a completely different angle. His advice, invest in yourself first. He says it's by far the best investment. It can't ever be taxed and it can't ever be taken away.
It's powerful. Can't be taxed, can't be taken away.
Yeah. Anything you invest in yourself, anytime you improve your own talents, you get back tenfold. Think about that, an investment that literally grows and keeps paying dividends no matter what the market does.
It's striking, isn't it, how Buffett's language about investments that can't be taken away mirrors Dungy's focus on metrics beyond worldly stuff?
It really is a parallel.
Yeah, despite their completely different worlds, both are championing the building of this internal reservoir of value, personal capital.
Something resilient that grows.
Exactly. Rather than something easily lost or diminished by outside forces, it's about building an inner wealth that genuinely lasts.
Okay, so if investing in yourself builds that foundational value, the next question is, how do we act on that inner strength?
Right. How does it translate into action?
It often means stepping up without waiting for permission, doesn't it? Because when we talk leadership, we usually picture the title, the badge.
A special shirt, yeah.
But these sources seem to reveal a paradox about real leadership.
That's spot on. There's this great insight. Team captains never wait to be named captain before they start leading.
They just start.
Yeah. The process starts before that with the highest standards on and off the field, in the classroom and in the community. It shows that true leaders don't just get authority handed to them.
They earn it.
They earn it by acting like leaders before they have the title. Leading by example, showing those qualities consistently.
And this isn't just sports, is it? It connects to that philosophical challenge from Max Eastman. There is truth in the high opinion that insofar as a man conforms, he ceases to exist.
Ah, right. Conformity versus existence.
Yeah. So the future captain, the one setting high standards before getting the badge, refuses to just conform to a passive role.
They're already acting independently.
Exactly. They understand leadership isn't just a position you're given, it's a responsibility you assume. It's about acting on your convictions, not just waiting for that permission slip.
And how many of us wait for that permission slip?
Way too often, probably.
And this idea of intellectual independence, it's reinforced by Gotthold, too, who advises, think wrongly, if you please, but in all cases, think for yourself.
Think wrongly? That sounds risky.
Well, it's not about being wrong on purpose, right? It's about recognizing that authentic thinking, real thinking, requires the courage to form your own judgments.
Even if they might turn out incorrect sometimes.
Especially then. It's the willingness to actually engage your own mind, test your own ideas, that builds that intellectual muscle, not just accepting what you're told.
That's a bold statement. Think wrongly, if you please. It's almost liberating, isn't it?
It is.
But how do we avoid just being contrary for the sake of it? I mean, it brings to mind Jordan Peterson's advice.
Which one? He has a few memorable ones.
Take the path of maximum adventure, the path of most responsibility.
Ah, yes. That one definitely sounds counterintuitive. Responsibility is adventure.
Right. Most people see responsibility as a burden. But Peterson sees it as the mechanism for developing strength, competence, meaning.
So the person who volunteers for more responsibility, like our pre-captain,
they grow in ways that just seeking comfort can never provide. It's a call to embrace challenge, really. See it as the path to growth.
Okay, so leadership involves taking responsibility, thinking for yourself. But what about the courage needed for all that?
Good question. Why are we sometimes so hesitant to step up or take action, even when we kind of know it's the right thing?
Robert Greene's work on boldness, especially in human relationships, offers some really crucial insight here.
Greene, right, the strategist.
Yeah. In his piece, Know When to Be Bold, he observes something fascinating. No one is born timid. Timidity is a protection we develop.
A protection we develop, not something we just are.
That's his point. If we never stick our necks out, if we never try, we will never have to suffer the consequences of failure or success.
So timidity is like a learned defense mechanism against discomfort, against failure, maybe even against success.
Seems so. It's fascinating to think of it as a choice, conscious or not, rather than just an inherent trait.
And Greene identifies this critical truth. What we often mistake for humility, or maybe modesty, is actually a form of self-protection. It stops us from making real connections, from achieving things. He says, timid people are often self-absorbed, obsessed with the way people see them.
Ouch. That hits home.
And not at all saintly. It connects right back to our captain metaphor, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The person waiting for permission might be more worried about avoiding criticism than actually serving the team.
That's a powerful distinction. True humility versus just self-conscious inaction. Fear disguised as modesty.
Yeah. And Greene's daily law really cuts to the core of effective action. He says, at the final stage of a seduction, boldness eliminates any awkwardness or doubts.
Okay, context is relationships there, but the principle.
It applies universally, right? Whether it's leadership, friendship, personal growth, there's always a point where you need bold action to move from just thinking about it to actually doing it.
It's that decisive step from potential to reality.
Exactly. Transforms the whole situation.
And this need for boldness, it pops up again in that encouragement to live, really live, make the dash count.
The dash. Between the dates on the tombstone.
Yeah. Never surrender to mediocrity, to negators or suppressive forces. Look forward to each new day as an adventure to live. It reframes your whole perspective on time, doesn't it?
Completely. Each day isn't just something to get through, it's an opportunity.
An opportunity to create meaning, to live intentionally with courage, not just drift along.
It makes you think about how you're spending that dash. It really does. Which sort of naturally brings us to maybe the most beautiful theme weaving through all these teachings.
Chiz.
The paradox of giving and receiving. It sounds totally counterintuitive, but source after source suggests that when you give freely, you actually end up gaining more.
Absolutely. Mother Teresa captures it so simply. Intense love does not measure, it just gives.
No scorekeeping.
None. And that statement, it reveals such a profound truth about us psychologically. When we love or give without constantly measuring the return,
We paradoxically receive more.
yeah, more joy, more connection, more abundance than when we're always calculating, always strategic about it. It's about that open-hearted generosity.
And it's not just about love either. Daniel Pink's research on learning gives actual empirical support for this.
Oh yeah, how so?
He found that students who spend time teaching what they've learned go on to show better understanding and knowledge retention than students who simply spend the same time restudying.
Wow. So the act of giving the knowledge away solidifies it for you.
Exactly. It strengthens your own grasp. It's a fantastic, concrete example of how contribution benefits the giver. That's a truly surprising fact, isn't it?
It really is. And if we zoom out, connect this to the bigger picture, Anthony Robbins reinforces this whole theme.
The motivational guy.
Yeah, but through his investment advice, actually. Though it applies way beyond just money, he advises, be focused on creating value.
Okay.
3 points. 1, become an owner rather than a consumer. 2, practice asset allocation. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Sound advice.
Standard investment stuff, yeah.
And 3, look for the asymmetrical risk-to-reward ratio, low risk, high reward when investing.
Right. The smart bets. Low downside, big potential upside.
Exactly, but think about that first point. Owner versus consumer. That framework encourages this mindset of active creation, not just passive consumption.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener?
Well, it suggests that owners, people who create value for others, they receive returns, financial, relational, intellectual, whatever it is.
Whereas consumers just extract value and get temporary satisfaction.
Pretty much. So this encourages a mindset shift towards contribution, which paradoxically often leads to greater fulfillment, a stronger sense of purpose for yourself.
It shifts your focus from what can I get?
To what can I build? What can I share?
Okay, but sometimes wise advice seems to contradict itself.
Yeah.
That can be really confusing.
Oh, definitely. Like what?
Well, how do we reconcile having highest standards for ourselves, like the captain example, with other advice that says set the bar low?
Yeah, that feels like a real tension, doesn't it? High standards, low bar.
It does. How does that work?
It really raises the important point about nuance and context. The advice to set the bar low. Today will not be perfect and nobody's going to get out of your way.
Yeah, that quote.
It's primarily about avoiding paralysis. You know, that feeling of being overwhelmed by expecting immediate perfection.
Oh, right. So you don't just freeze up.
Exactly. It allows for consistent progress, even if it's messy, imperfect progress. It's a realistic take on daily execution. The path to a high standard isn't usually a straight, perfect line.
So you're not lowering your ultimate standards.
Vampire.
Just the expectation for a flawless performance today.
Precisely. You maintain high standards for your character, your overall vision, but you set a manageable bar for daily action so you don't get overwhelmed and quit.
Progress over perfection. Show up consistently, even if it's not glamorous, knowing that consistency adds up.
Exactly. It compounds. And another really compelling example of this kind of nuance, there's a Spanish insight.
Okay.
Ser amable es más importante que tener razón.
Being kind is more important than being right.
Yes. A veces lo que la gente necesita no es una mente brillante que hable, sino un corazón especial que escuche.
Sometimes what people need isn't a brilliant mind that speaks, but a special heart that listens.
Think about that. It acknowledges that just being technically correct often matters way less than the emotional connection.
The how.
Yeah, the how you deliver truth. Or even if you need to deliver the truth right then, sometimes connection trumps correction.
It's a reminder that sometimes the smartest, most effective thing you can do is just shut up and listen.
With an open heart, yeah.
So when we step back, look at all these insights together as a system. They seem to provide this powerful framework, like a blueprint for building what one source calls a personal architecture.
Personal architecture, I like that. A stable foundation.
Yeah, for navigating life, all the challenges, the opportunities, like having a design for living well.
And that architecture, it rests on several key pillars, doesn't it? The foundation seems to be character development, relationship investment.
Like Dungy's scorecard idea.
Exactly. Creating that internal stability that external stuff can't easily shake.
And the structural supports.
Those seem to be things like Bold action when it's needed, generous service to others, the courage to think for yourself.
But also being sensitive to others, like the kindness point.
Right. Thinking independently while staying connected. It's a really holistic approach to building a resilient self.
And the daily practices, the things that maintain this architecture.
Setting those high personal standards, but accepting imperfect execution day to day.
The low bar for getting started.
Yeah. Teaching others what we've learned, like Pink's research showed. Taking on meaningful responsibility, like Peterson suggested.
And choosing kindness over being right when the situation really calls for connection.
Exactly. These aren't necessarily huge, dramatic gestures. They're consistent, intentional choices that build up over time.
Brick by brick.
And maybe most importantly, this architecture includes recognizing what's in that statement. The world is a terrible place, but you are enough to master it.
That sounds intense. Terrible place.
It is, but it's not meant as naive optimism, I don't think. It's more like a mature acknowledgement. Life is hard, things go wrong.
Wait.
But the second part is key. You are enough to master it. It means acknowledging that while we can't control everything out there,
We have enough inside.
we possess sufficient internal resources, resilience, character, adaptability to respond meaningfully. It empowers you. It gives you agency.
You have the capacity to navigate even the really tough terrain.
That's the idea. Inner strength meets outer challenge.
So, wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening, navigating your own life?
Well, the wisdom here doesn't really offer easy answers or quick fixes, does it?
No magic bullets.
No. Instead, it provides more like a compass for navigating the ongoing challenge of living meaningfully in a pretty complex world.
And true success, these sources suggest, isn't really about hitting specific outcomes.
Like checking boxes.
Right. It's more about consistently choosing character over convenience, service over just self-interest, and authentic action over just comfortable conformity.
And the measure of whether you're succeeding in that, it's not found on those external scorecards.
Where then?
It's more in that quiet satisfaction, that sense you get from knowing you're investing your time, your energy in ways that create real, lasting value.
Value for others and for yourself.
Exactly. As Tony Dungy suggests, when you perform for that higher standard, that audience of one, paradoxically, everyone reaps the benefits, including you, even if that wasn't the main goal.
So this whole collection of wisdom, it really points towards a fundamental truth, doesn't it?
Which is?
The most meaningful life is built not through accumulation, but through contribution.
Not through self-protection, but through bold service.
And not through just conforming, but through the courage to become who you're truly meant to be.
Yeah. And you know, the world really needs more people like that. People who are kind and brave and caring.
People who think for themselves, but also genuinely care about others.
Right. Who give without constantly keeping score and who are willing to try new things even when they're, a little scared.
In other words, the world needs people exactly like you when you're being your best self.
Absolutely.
So are you ready to start, or maybe continue, this adventure of becoming that amazing person you're meant to be?
It is an adventure.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.